Welcome, folks, back to the Homegrown Hunter TV. I've got Jason St. Michael from SCI back. Thank you again for coming back, Jay. I appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
Well, I wanted to talk about the banquets. I know that Jason hosts numerous amounts of banquets across all provinces in Canada because they are not nationwide, but Canadian-wide organization, as well as in the U.S. and across the world. But we're going to focus more on the Canada-based part that Jason's involved with. So just kind of highlight some of the benefits of going to your banquets and where some of that money is funding and where it's going.
You know what? It's a great question. We have 16 chapters in Canada, from New Brunswick all the way to British Columbia. Several in Alberta, several in BC, Saskatchewan, Manitoba. Basically a good coverage in every province. At these fundraisers, they raise funds. Some banquets raise in excess of $100,000 in an evening. And all of that money is focused towards conservation, education, humanitarian projects in their local area. 70% of the money is retained right there with their local area, and 30% goes back to our headquarters. Now, of that 30%, we also fund programs. We talked the last time about the caribou study in Newfoundland that they did. It was, shy of $500,000.
Yeah, big funding.
And that's paid by headquarters. So that 30% helps fund that. But 70% of the money, unlike most organizations, and I'm not knocking them because, frankly, I belong to most of them, and I think they all do great things. But unlike most organizations, the chapter keeps that money and spends it locally. And I'll give you an example. My hometown is Petawawa, Ontario, and we have a chapter there. And last year they purchased a robotic deer for the MNR to fight poaching. And by the way, it was successful. It was in the paper not too long ago. I think that's a great story. Hunters helping to protect hunting and our animal and our resources. We belong to a youth hunt mentorship program, along with several other organizations. There's GoHuntBirds.com, the MNR, Ducks Unlimited. And what we do is we get 20 kids. We take them out hunting on Heritage Day. Our chapters purchased 10 Benelli pump youth shotguns. When you take a youth out for the first time, if the gun doesn't fit them right, we felt that this is not good. They're going to get turned off. So we bought shotguns that are going to fit them. We have a family day where we take their family out with them, show them that we're going to be safe in the field. We're going to teach them the right aspects, and give their family a good feeling about taking their kids or their grandsons or nephews or nieces out in the field hunting. We support conservation issues such as elk reintroduction in Ontario. Again, I'm talking about Ontario because we're here.
Your chapter in Petawawa is supporting those local
Absolutely.
things. I've got friends of mine that traveled to the SCI banquet, and I believe it's the Toronto area.
Right.
I mean, you would know where that is. I've been invited numerous times. It's just because of my schedule being busy that time of year, I can't make that one.
Yep.
I'm going to do my best to be there this year, but I've got a lot of industry friends that go to that one. I'm assuming that's one of your biggest banquets.
That is, in Ontario, it is our biggest banquet. They do a fantastic job. This year they bought a trailer, which our chapters in Canada are going to load with mounts, and it's going to be a sensory safari trailer. So we're going to take it around to places like Bass Pro, Cabela's, to schools, to the CNIBC, the blind.
Yep.
And that's how it was developed. This sensory safari was visually impaired people could come in and touch and feel animals that they don't get to see, quite frankly, and they see by touching. So we're gonna have these mounts, but we're also going to incorporate more educational stuff. So we're going to have an airsoft system with it. We're going to have a NAS, National Archery in the Schools program, which many of our chapters are sponsoring. We have several teachers that are trained to teach other teachers how to bring NASP into the schools.
NASP is the archery.
National Archery in the Schools program.
Okay.
We also we sponsor teachers. We have a facility in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, in the mountains, that we sponsor teachers, and they go down, and it's an accredited program which we teach, and we teach them how to bring the outdoors in. We teach them about the conservation. We teach them about marksmanship, orienteering, identifying scat and tracks. We even have a program that they can take back and use in their classrooms. We feel that educating educators on hunting and its roles in management, its roles in conservation, and so they're not anti-hunting. We don't expect them to become hunters, but we expect them to understand the North American model and the importance of hunting. Yeah. And kids today that are hunters tend to be more respectful. than the kids growing up on a video game.
Yeah.
That's our feeling anyhow. And I know with my family, they've grown up hunting and fishing, and certainly have more respect today than many of their friends.
Well, I know that it's the Fur Harvesters Convention. I was up there in North Bay, back in the springtime, and they have a bumper sticker that goes on your vehicle that says, "Kids that hunt and fish don't steal little old ladies," or something like that.
Right.
You can't be more true than that. The kids are outside enjoying, what's offered outside of technology, or getting into trouble or playing these video games or shooting and stealing cars is a cool thing.
Absolutely.
Get them outside and actually being able to shoot pigeons or game animals or whichever.
We have a similar bumper sticker: "Hunt with your kids, not for them."
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's education's a huge part of our sport, and we need to do more of it to get these kids in. We also do conservation, as we talked about the elk and the turkey reintroduction. We've partnered with other organizations.
Were you guys involved with the Manitoba release there this past March?
We were, actually, and we just, another example, we moved bison from Alberta to Alaska.
Wow.
So we're involved in just a myriad of projects. A lot of it chapter level is where they get started, and sometimes we'll get the national to pitch in and help coordinate. We do matching grants for education, conservation, humanitarian. The humanitarian side's kind of neat. We do Hunters Feeding the Hungry. So we'll get hunters together with their local game food banks, and set up a donation process. So if you're a hunter, you get your game processed, and you can drop 10 pounds of meat off, and it goes to the local food bank. We do blue bags, where we send bags of medical and school product to these third world countries, and they're taken there by hunters. Quite often the airlines will waive the fees. We take wounded warriors, injured people. We have Make-A-Wish type of hunting. It's not Make-A-Wish, obviously, that is taken, but that style where if you have somebody that's terminally ill and wants to go on a hunt of a lifetime, contact us. We'll do our best to get it.
Oh, that's cool.
In Drayton Valley, Alberta, we've built a dock, and it's a fish pond where, that we're taking disabled and elderly out on this pond on a regular basis in the summertime. So
for fishing opportunities.
For fishing
so
opportunities.
It's not just strictly game on the land or on the hoof. You also
get outdoors, really.
Yeah.
And it's done by the chapters. The chapters are the heart and soul of this organization.
So I'm assuming they have like a part of a committee that makes these decisions. So everybody says, okay, let's put a little bit of money here, let's put a little bit of money there. So being a part of the local chapters, you're able to put your word in. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but at least you can say, hey, look, let's try and do a erosion control river planting with some shrubs or trees to help with wildlife carrying capacity or population. Those are the sort of things that you guys can certainly be involved with.
Absolutely. And National will also be involved where, okay, I'm going to give $3,000. We want to this youth program, this youth hunter mentorship program. So here's $3,000. I'm going to apply to matching grants to SCI, our headquarters, the foundation, and ask them to match that $3,000 because, through our education grants, and they'll do that. They'll give it, 90% of the time. We get that extra $3,000, which we can put right towards that project.
Awesome.
Yeah, so the chapter level of it is fantastic, and they do such great work. I've met so many amazing people that give time and energy and money to giving back to hunting and fishing and angling, outdoor sports. Really, it's amazing, to be honest. There's a lot of rhetoric going on right now from the anti-hunting community, and I always say, what are you doing to give back? How are you managing these animals? What's your plan?
Yeah. And
I tell you what, it stumps them a lot of time because they really aren't doing anything besides
they've always got the opinions to be mouthing off. I mean, not to touch base on a kind of hard subject. We all know about Cecil the lion, and when I first seen that, I thought, geez, here we go again, But, organizations like yourself and other nonprofits are standing up for our rights against, I don't like the word anti. I'm just saying non-hunters, if I can say that, because it's not that they're against hunting, and maybe some of them are. They've all got their own opinions, but hide behind a computer barking and chewing everybody's head off doesn't mean anything. They don't understand why that lion was harvested or how it's managed and where that money goes.
Absolutely, and you say antis, non-hunters. I got non-hunters that are good friends of mine, and we get along. And as a matter of fact, I have non-hunters that support us and come to our dinners. Anti-hunters are just that. They're against hunting, and they want to see it stopped. they won't even listen to the fact that, you brought up Cecil the lion. I really don't want to talk about Cecil the lion, but let's talk about trophy hunting or hunting period. Hunting in North America is a proven conservation tool.
Yeah.
It's scientifically proven. It's science-based, okay? We follow the science. You talk about trophy hunting. Let's talk about the lions for a second. If they stopped lion hunting in Africa, what do you think the African government, the African people are going to do? They're going to kill that lion, because all that lion then becomes, the value to that lion is simply, it's going to either kill my kids, my family,
my cattle,
or my
farm.
livestock.
Yeah, yeah.
So it has no value. It's actually a detriment to society.
It's not
So
generating
they're going to
funds,
poison
so
it and they're going to kill it off. Right now, it funds trackers, skinners, laundry, food, hotels, motels, airline. I can continue to go on and on and on. Yeah. And there's a value to it. And so the people in Africa, for example, they are managing that animal. And if you look at Kenya, populations, when they closed hunting, populations have dropped 86%. Wow. You look at places like South Africa, populations have went up 500% since management of animals have taken place. North America is no different. We don't put the same value on an animal, but we do put a value on an animal. It's not monetarily.
Yeah.
And everybody loves. I love deer. I love white-tailed deer. I love to go out and hunt the deer. I love the camaraderie. I love taking my family. I love eating a deer, just as I do love eating beef.
Yeah.
So I think that, and we believe that proper management will be, if we properly maintain and manage our animals, as we've hired scientists to do, we will be able to eat and preserve and enjoy this recreational pastime for years and years to come. And my great-grandkids hopefully will have the same opportunity that I do.
And that's exactly why I'm interested in joining, because I got 2 young kids, 8 and 10 years old. They want to hunt like now. I mean, right. If I could, I certainly would take them out. We do a lot of shooting sports and stuff like that. But I'm thinking, like, what's going to happen if we're having troubles with anti-hunters or non-hunters as of right now? What are we going to be looking at when the population grows like another 4 or 5 or 6% over the next 20 years? Where are my kids going to be? I was introduced into this sport in the early 20s, and I know that when my kids start, by the time they get to their early 20s, there's going to be a lot more problems. And having the funding that you guys have and being able to support us as hunters is going to go a long way.
Right, and that's where the education comes in. We got to get these children away from their phones and their Game Boys and that sort of stuff, and get them out in the field and teach them how fun and how enjoyable and the importance of hunting, but also the importance of giving back. The importance of being a part of these organizations and giving back to the community and making sure that their future is going to be there and their grandkids' futures and their children's futures. Yeah. Absolutely.
On that note, folks, I want you to sign on to SCI. I'm going to do that myself. In fact, Jason, if you wouldn't mind giving a website, these guys can go and find their local branch.
Absolutely. It's www.scei-canada.ca. Okay.
Join today. I encourage you to do it. I'm definitely going to do so. Jason, thank you very much for coming to Homegrown TV. And folks, check out hghtv.ca for the next episodes that we have. We're touching on all kinds of different basics of whether you're a bird hunter, an African hunter, or North American wide. Join us anytime. Follow us on Facebook as well. Thanks for joining us.